What is going on, everyone? Stevo Supremo here, and I am just another game collector and just wanting to let you guys know that there is no rush. There is no rush when it comes to game collecting, completing these collections. These games will always be here, they're going nowhere. So let's get into it. Why are these random assortment of games just sitting around here on this couch? Well, basically, it's just to show that there's so much out there, guys. There's so many games out there. There's so many different systems and consoles. You have DS, Super Nintendo, Dreamcast. I mean, you name it. There are so many systems that one can collect for. And many problems I see with new collectors getting into the hobby is that they just get overwhelmed and they just want to start buying everything. Like buy, 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 with no focus, no goal, nothing. They're just excited about getting and jumping into the hobby, which I can't blame them. Video games are awesome. Collecting some of these older games is awesome to go back and play. So I don't fault them for that, but it can get crazy and out of hand real quick. And before you've known it, you've blown hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars of your disposable income. And it's just on video games with no set goal in mind. So, just like a PSA, because there's a local guy here who I actually listed up one of these Super Nintendos and NESs that I got from a pickup recently and put them on Facebook Marketplace. And this guy wanted both of them. So I knocked off more money for him since he was wanting both of them. And when he came here to pick him up, and we started talking like, hey, what's going on? Are you getting into retro stuff and everything again? He's like, yeah, I'm really getting into wanting to collect stuff and collect video games. I already have. He started naming off a couple systems, GameCube and stuff like that. He's like, but I was really wanting a Super Nintendo and an NES to start getting into that stuff. And this guy has just been buying like crazy. When he came in here and saw my game room, he was like, yes, this is like the dream I hope to have one day. And I was just telling him, even when he got here and he was in here looking at stuff, I was like, man, this has taken a while to collect all this stuff. I haven't been in a rush. It has grown exponentially over the last 4 years, but it's just something like over the past 20 years or so, I've just been taking my time with. It's not something I've been trying to rush. You get people who can complete these GameCube collections and everything within a year, like all the power to them. But I am not in a rush for that. And I think people normally try to rush it because they feel like, man, prices are high now. We saw what happened during COVID. Like prices could spike again. You just never know what's going to happen or predict the future. But I would not gamble on anything like that. Let's take just this game right here, Fire Emblem, The Path of Radiance on the GameCube. A pretty sought after game on the GameCube. I got it from a buddy of mine who hooked me up with a bunch of GameCube games a long time ago and Nintendo 64 games. Now, this game during the pandemic, yes, it did spike. It went up to pretty high amounts, upper 200s. But when you look at it now, the price has come down. It has flattened out, and it's kind of still on the downward trend. Like sometimes just stuff like this, you just need to wait for those times to pass, and the prices are going to come back down. Pretty much everything kind of out here that I'm showing you guys is at a leveled off price or it's going down. So stuff does eventually level off. Or if it does have a creep, it's not like skyrocket. It's just that gentle over time creep, just slowly going up, which that's nothing to rush out, like to go up and pick something up by. If Dark Cloud 2 is selling for $25 today, but in 2 years it's worth 30, that's not a massive increase. You're not missing out on a whole lot there. Nothing really skyrockets in price at an exponential rate unless something is just, it's like that fear of missing out type of thing going on, like when the 360 stuff happened. But guess what? The market cooled back down like it always does. Just people always freak out every time when something like that happens. But just being in the game for so long now, you do kind of know like how the system works over time. So just with any new collectors out there just is no rush when it goes to wanting to just buy everything now because you think it's at the cheapest point it's ever going to be at. Some stuff is still going down. So you could get it even cheaper. So just be patient. If something comes your way at a great deal, sure, take it up. If you see a nice big Facebook marketplace post like I see where you get all these games for a really great deal, go for it. But there's no need to be going out there on a rush feeling like you need to buy everything right now because it's just going to get that much more expensive. It's just not the case. There are some instances where I believe there are certain games that do kind of hold value and will possibly just keep going up. But that's the really, really rare stuff that 90% of us don't even have, like a Nintendo World Championships gold card or a stadium events. Those really sought after items really do tend to hold their value and can go up by greater margins than, say, a Dark Cloud 2 or even a Power Stone, for example. Like those things just have that grab. It's like having a PSA 10-star Michael Jordan card. I sought after stuff where there isn't many versions of it or many of those grades. Stuff just does take off. So, just a little quick video today about that. Just warning people that, yep, you just don't need to rush. Be careful with your money, your disposable income, where you're putting it. A lot of people try to see video games as like an investment for the future. I don't really see it as a great investment. Sure, it's always money that you can fall back on if you need to sell something to get some quick cash or anything, but it's nothing as good as like investing into like your works 401k and stuff like that, or Roth IRAs or everything like that. More technical stuff, but much better off putting your money there than into video games. But it's a cool little side investment, if you want to say, but it's not something you're going to make millions of dollars off of. That's going to just keep exponentially growing and growing and growing. Like this Dark Cloud 2 is never going to be a $50 game. It's not going to happen. I just don't see that happening. So, and that would be like double the price it is now. It's just not going to happen. Other ways of growing your money, you can double it and triple it a lot better off than video games. But at least we get to play these video games and they're fun to play with. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys always fall for that fear of missing out or FOMO or feel like you got to get stuff very fast or it's just going to be too expensive? I used to be like that a long time ago, but yes, I do not do it anymore. I take my time and I come what comes at me, whatever makes itself available, and like, oh, that looks like a good deal, I grab it. So, yep, what do you guys think? Leave it in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.